Here we go. Episode 3, welcome back. I have to be honest, I did not want to be here. And though I have a plethora of topics to talk about, I think tonight was far beyond the point of whether I had a topic or not. I think it was more along the lines of showing up. And that has been something that I actually struggled with for a very long time. And I would make excuses for myself. And instead of showing up, that's what I would do. I would make excuses. So as I was doing something else earlier, I thought to myself, you don't feel like doing it because you don't feel like doing it. You just don't feel like doing it. Or you're avoiding it because you don't feel like doing it. So I wanted to touch on the topic of showing up. And, you know, a little bit of like procrastination, a little bit of why we avoid things, and why it's so important to just fucking show up. A lot of times in my life where I didn't feel like being somewhere, and then I go, 9 times out of 10, I'm so happy I went. And I've actually gotten a lot of great opportunities from just showing up. I've met a lot of great people. I've heard a lot of great stories. And no real harm can be done when you just show up. If anything, you're more than likely to gain something from the experience. Another really important thing about showing up is when you do, you allow room for what I call the divine to show up as well. Life is this fucking dance, this experience that we can either hoard to ourselves in stagnation or give of ourselves in adventure, or excitement, or hope, or connection. So we can either stay in stagnation, or we can choose to be in connection. Choosing to be in connection sometimes, most times, in the way society is today, can be super fucking difficult, to be honest. And for most people, at least. For me, at least. But I know that when I do, something magical always happens. The other day I went to the dog park and I was a little late. It's not a real dog park, it's just this baseball field that everybody brings their fucking dogs to. And I was late, everybody was leaving, so I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna play with my dog alone. No big deal. And then somebody showed up late too. And it was a guy whose dog gets along well with my dog. And it was perfect. It was exactly what I needed. I needed her to play with a dog that she could chase and run around with and play with and get all of her energy out. You know, she's a Jack Russell and she's packed with the energy of a fucking elephant. So we were leaving and he like apologized. He's like, yeah, no, sorry, like I didn't even think I was gonna make it. Honestly, I didn't even want to come. And I thought to myself, yeah, me too. But I'm glad that I did, because most times that I do show up, when I don't feel like it, I leave glad that I did show up. So that's a super important thing to think about too, is like, what's the best that can happen, you know? And paying attention to your feelings, because your feelings are really good at convincing you not to do shit. And if you can push past that and stick to your commitment, your discipline, it's a whole fucking different world. It's a whole different paradigm. Because now you're seeing opportunities and experiencing things that you never would have otherwise. So with that said, I think there's a letting go that has to be done during showing up. So for instance, I didn't even want to sit here and make this video, to be honest. But I made a commitment that every Friday I'm going to release a video. And that's just what it is. So if I don't show up, then I'm disappointing myself. I'm telling my subconscious mind that, nah, you're not worth it. Like, nah, you don't have to keep commitments to yourself. You just don't trust yourself anymore. So I digress. Letting go of expectations when you show up. All I knew in showing up to make this video was what I wanted to talk about. I didn't know how I was going to talk about it. I didn't even have the energy to think about that. I was going to use that as an excuse to say I'm not in the right frame of thought. I'm not prepared. But I don't do that anymore. So I'm showing up unprepared. And every time I just show up, prepared or unprepared, something happens. And so the point I'm trying to make is letting go. Letting go of all the control of trying to prepare and trying to be perfect and trying to just be. Just be. Just show up. Just be. And flow. And if it isn't perfect, guess what? Welcome to fucking reality. Because in imperfection lies true perfection. But if you look at God's creation, where do you find perfectly straight lines? Like if you look at God's creation, you don't see only in man's creation. You see tables, you see fucking windows, you see a house, it's fucking square, you got bookshelves, you got whatever. There are perfectly straight lines. So as a human being, though our creations can depict straight line, the overall creation doesn't have to. It's like a person. We're all different. We all have different DNA. We're completely different than each other, yet aligned with a deeper connection than what is on our appearance. That's kind of what we need to focus on. Not getting everything perfect. Not copying what somebody else is doing. And now I'm talking about the flow a little bit. Flow state. Because in showing up, you need to be able to tap into this state of flow. And maybe I can make another video about that more in depth, but essentially what that is the flow is letting go. That's what it is. But the flow has nowhere to go unless you let go and show up. So, fee, fi, fo, I got a G.I. Joe. I'm so mad. Between my toe. Fuck. My camera cut off and a bunch of fucking magic happened. And I'm so angry. But what can I do? Look, man, I showed the fuck up. And here I am. And the whole point that I was trying to make is that when you show up for yourself and you show up, you let go and you let it flow, I'm gonna let that live off in some other space that no longer exists here anymore, but here. When you do that, you let go of expectation, you let go of perfection, and you just show up. In that letting go, you allow, the flow state, and in that's where you just it's this beautiful connection between your subconscious mind and your conscious mind and God knows what else. But why it's so important to show up for yourself is because you are not only in relation to other people, you are in relation to you. And you have to act like the worthy human being that you are. We are all kings and queens of earth. And that's not just some fancy term to be empowerment term. But that was God's original intended design. We are to rule over the earth. And a whole nother story, but we end up ruling over each other and, given the earth in society today. When you keep your commitments, you're telling your mind, yes, I deserve this. And you're acting in a way that you deserve. And the more that you do that, the more you start to believe that. And that becomes your new reality. And I literally just wanted to get on here and say that. Show up for yourself. Even when you don't feel like it. And you'll be glad that you did. And it might not turn out as great as you might have expected, but the fact that you showed up for yourself, that's literally all that matters. And that's where the power is. So with all of this said, I'm actually really tired because today was a pretty long day. But look, thank you guys to all the, I think I got like another 50 subscribers. Thank you, truly. It means I get excited when I look at my iPad and it says I have a new subscriber or have a comment or something. But I do want to hear from you, your thoughts. I want to hear any questions that you might have, and let's have this open dialogue. And you know, maybe I'll start going live on YouTube as well. And I am so grateful to you guys. And subscribe if you like. Hit that like button because that helps me. And I love you. And I hope you love yourself. And I hope you put this into practice. And if you do, even for a week, just do your best. You're going to fuck up. That's fine. Just do your best. When you fuck up, just try it again. That's literally all you got to do. Just try again. And don't beat yourself up for trying again. I did that for many years. It's just, don't do that. I love you. This is the end of the video. Now I need to go to sleep and consider working on better outros. But until next time, peace.